Many thanks to fellow Destruction Squad, Clifton of the servers, Seattle's Cloud, 7RP server, the Struggle community, the Camera Crew servers, Friendly DayZ podcast, DayZ servers, Reclamation server, and the settlement for making this video possible. DayZ 1.29 has changed loot in more ways than I first imagined, with the changes now very clear to us all using my loot comparison maps. So I'm going to be showing you the weird changes that maybe accidentally happen this patch, which loot is and isn't spawning correctly, and the deadly changes that have been made to gas zones. Starting with loot that now spawns in 1.29, we have the pilot jacket, 3 variants of this, spawning only on Sakau, black and brown version spawning tier 2 and 3 residential, so the black version will be found a lot more because it has 20 of them spawning across the server, but they are only found in the town loot tag, which means Petro or Nagovo, where the brown one is found in many more locations. Yellow is the hardest one to get though because it's in hunting locations, with this map proving that hunting locations are not restricted to the center of the map, as many structures on Sakau have the hunting tag assigned to them, including this green larder for whatever reason, with these stores here being one of the best locations to get this jacket. The winter military coat is also Sakau exclusive, all spawning tier 3 plus and dynamic events under the military loot tag, but the brown version is easier to find due to it spawning in tier 2 military also. The heavy labour jacket spawns across all maps in prison and industrial locations apart from Livonia, where it only spawns at the prison and for some reason at certain police dynamic events. Military sweaters are on all maps, so tier 2 plus military for Chernoris, all military locations for Livonia, and on Sakau it's only tier 1 and 2, but as shown on this map here you can find these at military related dynamic events. The bear headdress is from bears in all of these locations across the different maps, but do be aware that bringing a bear's head health to 0 will stop it from dropping this when you skin it. So when you skin it, this will just drop on the floor somehow. So this headdress is really hard to get because killing a bear without headshots is going to require at least 2 people. Getting the fox one is a lot easier. You can visit these locations here. There's a chance of one spawning. They don't walk anywhere, they just spawn in these locations. Or you can set up a trap using any kind of meat in the game as bait, and then you can catch one that way. Military winter boots are only on Sakau. 5 of the 3 different variants spawn at military locations, so that's 15 in total across the map. And the other new boots are in hunting locations but across all maps. Strangely enough, even though the 2 variants of boots are assigned to spawn at the same location, exactly the same, the dark brown version is found at many more spawn points as shown here. You can see here, and this also happens on Livonia and Sakau, so I don't believe it is me. So if you know the answer to this mystery, I would love to hear this, as the only differences between these 2 boots in the game files is their name and the texture on them. The new Longhaul backpacks are the best in the game because they're just the best in the game. You just have to trust Wobo, but if you don't trust Wobo, loot flags is the reason. There are no loot flags on this, but there are loot flags on the other 64 slot backpack, making that one harder to find. I have a video dedicated to this in the future, and I'll explain how it all works there. Thankfully this spawns across all maps in 4 different spicy variants. On Chernoris the green one is found in tier 4 military, but you can also find it at military dynamic events too, even the military trains, where the TTSKO version is static gas zones only, with the best gas zone for this being Pavlovo if you do want this variant. The green version is also on Livonia in gas zones only, and if you watch my recent video on gas zones, you'll know that Livonia has better gas zones, so it's better to come here for the green version, with either of these gas zones being really good to get this backpack. But the medical tent area here in Radanen doesn't look like it spawns it, maybe because the Longhaul backpack is too large of an item to fit in those spawn points. The second variant on this map is in black and it spawns in tier 3 military only, but it can also spawn at military dynamic events, and this also includes the military trains. Sakau also has 2 variants of the 4, with the black one somehow only spawning at patrol boats, even though it should spawn at heli crashes too, because it doesn't make sense that the winter camo version, this one here, spawns at helis and patrol boats, but the black one does not, even though, like the fur boots, these 2 backpacks are basically identical. This winter version, surprisingly again, is the easiest Longhaul backpack to get in DayZ. 3 of them are spawning at military tier 3 locations, making Southport one of the best places to get it, but the south side of Nagovo airfield is also really good if you're feeling lucky. The only other new item in the game is the Sakau flag, which is like no other flag in DayZ. It can spawn basically in any spawn point across the map. The other flags are restricted to like office and school buildings. This one can spawn anywhere. Other new lootables on the maps include the smaller org on Livonia. It now spawns in this patch in the bunker. It spawns inside the prisoner room on floor 2 of this bunker, but on experimental I did find it on floor 1. And also you got the tactical helmet spawning again on Sakau in dynamic containers. Starting with the green filter, it now spawns correctly on these two different gas masks. It has a 20% chance to spawn on them when the gas mask spawns. This is really good because you will need these extra filters at Riffy. The gas zone height has been increased, so the top deck right up here is no longer a safe space for you in 1.29. The gas zone at Pavlovo has also changed. The office and hospital roofs are safe though, but even if you go slightly down this first ramp here, you will be in the gas zone, and the same goes for if you even touch this ladder, you will be in the gas zone if you do that. Military convoys on Chernobyl don't despawn if you're within 1,000 meters of them, but that was changed this patch to 500 meters, so if you're just outside of 500 meters, that means that military convoy can disappear on you. The P1 pistol, much like the IJ-70, can no longer spawn with a suppressor on it, the pistol suppressor, so other pistols like the CR-75, Mlock and FX can still spawn with one on though. I have no idea why the green raincoat and the tactical goggles spawn in more military locations. There was absolutely no changes to these in the game files. Basically, the green raincoat will take more of your gas zone spawn points because it spawns a lot more in gas zones for whatever reason, and the tactical goggles spawn in these bunkers. They didn't before, but they do now, with the yellow dots here showing the new places that items spawn this patch. This strangeness is also happening on Sakau. Some items have stopped spawning in certain areas or inside certain containers, like the Black Derringer should spawn inside the Beige Mansu inside of Petro, but it's not as much this patch, and the canteen also decided it doesn't like Petro. The kitchen knife decided it wants to head west, so it's no longer spawning as much in tier 1, and the hunting knife and morphine are visiting Burakan more often this patch. And other than the spawn point changes that were seen on this building, which didn't really change much, that concludes all loot changes in 1.29. You're now up to date with all these changes now being up to date on the loot finders too. Let me know your take on loot in 1.29. Have you noticed any weird changes too? Thank you very much for watching, and have a good day.